Hello everyone, welcome back to SliverStar Arcade and more, the great Ace Attorney Escapades. Today, Episode 3. Episode 3 at the British Supreme Court. This escapade takes place as Ryunosuke and Susato visit Lord Strongheart to report on the outcome of Mr. Natsume's trial. They find a flustered Inspector Gregson attempting to solve a very taxing problem before his time runs out. Wait, so this takes place... Oh wow, so there is no escapade for anything related to McGilded. That's interesting. I wonder if there'll be any escapades for the second game. That would be cool. Which, by the way, I'm probably not going to get to for like a year or two, because this game is already taxing on the voice, the channel, everything. 26th February, 9:17 a.m. British Supreme Court, Lord Chief Justice's office. Here we go again. Every time we visit here, the atmosphere in this place seems to get more and more overbearing. Aw, Susato! I missed you. Just think, we could be at home with Mr. Sholmes and Iris having a nice cozy breakfast. But we have a duty to report the outcome of the case, especially since we're guests here in Britain. So I'm afraid this visit couldn't have been avoided. I suppose not, but is there even anyone here? You could hear a pin drop in this place. It's too solemn for its own good. It is very quiet, isn't it? The only sound is the ticking of the great clock as it keeps perfect time. So seriously, it's never explained, but are we in Big Ben? What was that, I wonder? The usual comforting sound of the clock seems to have been joined by a less comforting shuffling around today. You're right. Something's disturbing the rhythmical ticking. It sounds rather like an unfit middle-aged man running from pillar to post, clumsily. Who are you calling unfit? Have we ever seen Gregson tired? Huh. Oh, Inspector Gregson, what are you doing here? What am I? Isn't it flaming obvious? 58 seconds remaining, Inspector. We'll have to talk later, sunshine. Good morning, Lord Strongheart. Wow, he's really looking fiercely at his pocket watch today. And good morning to you. Business is so early in the day. Oh, yes. Well, I mean, it's about the other day. We are to deliver our report, Lord Strongheart, as our dealings with Mr. Natsume are now over. Oh, yes, the little Japanese man. I've already cast my eyes over Von Zeke's report. I must say, the outcome surprised me. I thank you for a job well done. Can't remember the voice. You are too kind, my lord. It's not here. It's not here. No, what? The 1920s. It's not here. It's not there. And it's not over there either. I hope you don't mind me asking, but what exactly is the inspector doing? He's been herring around between the bookshelves looking besides himself with worry. He's looking for a particular work, The Lion's Pride. Now there's an all too familiar title. I'd heard it was a popular tale, so I obtained a copy from the rental library. However, I wasn't able to maintain my interest, so I soon cast it aside. I happened to notice a vacant spot on one of my shelves at the time, so I duly stowed the book there. Unfortunately, I no longer remember where that was. Nope, not there.
Not here either. Come on, where are you, you lions hiding?
The book is due back today, so I've asked Gregson to locate for me with his investigative prowess. Inside 5 minutes.
I must say, I've never seen anyone working so hard to find something. He's like a man possessed.
Yes, that's because his month's salary is staked upon the outcome.
At whose instigation? Let me guess, this stony-faced lord? And the 5-minute time limit? What's the significance of that?
There is none. Just my vulgar, mischievous spirit showing itself, I'm afraid.
Oh, by your own admission.
Ah, I can't. My feet are killing me.
5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up, Inspector.
Ah,
Which means that next month you will work unpaid and have no days off.
no days off.
No, that sounds more like Squidward. Well, that's just cruel. Now I feel bad for Gregson. There really are just so many books here. It's overwhelming.
For some, perhaps, I've purchased every book, new or old, on the subject of law from all over the globe.
I wouldn't have believed it a few short decades ago. A place like this couldn't have existed.
What do you mean, Inspector?
When I was a lad, no one ever dreamed of buying books.
Oh, I see. Westerner books are such luxury items, I suppose, with their leather covers and fancy bindings.
No, that's not it.
Oh?
There was a tax on paper, see?
On paper?
Yeah, I mean, it was abolished about 30 years back now, but it used to be the case. There was tax levied on any kind of paper, so obviously that meant most folks couldn't afford to buy any books at all.
Ah, so is that why places like the rental library you mentioned before came into existence, Lord Strongheart?
Indeed, vestiges of the paper tax system, you could say. The general public considered books as items for hire. London is home to a vast London library of some 3.5 million books.
You couldn't hope to read all of that even if you were reincarnated 10,000 times.
Even I would choose to rent a book rather than purchase it if I knew I would read it infrequently.
The subject of tax has actually surprised us already in the last few days. It came up in Mr. Natsumi's trial. It seems that the window in his room was filled in due to some kind of window tax.
That would be true. Fortunately, the window tax was abolished here some 40 years ago. Sadly, in the East End particularly, many windowless houses remain.
Britain's always had a bit of a thing for tax and stuff. Whatever they can tax, they tax. Sugar, salt, tea, coffee, you name it. Candles, beards.
Wait, sorry, what was that last one? Did you say beards?
Yep, the beard tax. Never heard of it?
Never. Why should people have to pay money just because they let their facial hair grow?
You may well ask. I suppose it's because it makes them look self-important.
Now Hodos will have a strict family policy of no facial hair, I think. Actually, I actually heard that the reason why a lot of people in Japan don't grow beards, aside from the fact that quite a few of them just can't grow facial hair, my buddies can't really grow facial hair, but apparently in Japan, I don't know if this is true or not, but having facial hair makes you look bossy, which is why a lot of people in old and ancient Japan had like the famous people who got their paintings had like giant beards and mustaches. And it's why if you're like a CEO, it's, socially acceptable for you to have facial hair. But if you're like a low-level grunt, it's kind of seen as if you're bossy and kind of self-absorbed if you have a beard. Which, I mean, I think is ridiculous. See, I see beards, especially unkempt beards, as a sign of laziness. Mostly because that's the only time I ever get a beard is when I'm too lazy to shave.
You can relax. The beard tax was confined to the annals of history long ago.
Even so, it's clearly something the British really love. Paying taxes, I mean.
Paying them? You've got that back to front, sunshine.
But you can't deny you've had a lot of funny taxes over the years. You'd never find anything like that in Japan. Would you, Mr. Sato? In actual fact, I'm afraid to say that you would, Mr. Naruhodo. What? No, you don't mean... Surely there's never been a window tax in Japan. No, but there have been similarly obscure taxes. For example, in the Edo period, there was a frontage tax. What was that? It was a tax not on windows, but on the entrance to properties. The larger a property's entrance was, the greater the tax that was levied on it. Even today, some mansions survived with extremely narrow entrances due to that old form of taxation. I had no idea.
So you Japanese are as twisted as us Brits.
But we never had a beard tax. I mean, that's really going a step too far. Well, no, that's not true. I'm not aware of any taxes for beards, at least. What do you mean, at least? Well, rather than tax them, the shogunate did once prohibit them outright. The ruling class prohibited beards? It was called the Great Beard Prohibition. It was an Edo period etiquette. But why did the powers that be want to ban beards?
Because it makes people look self-important? Just an idea.
It would seem that rulers in the East and the West have had very similar ideas over the years. Hey, it's just like what I was talking about. There have been other unusual taxes in our history, even in our current Meiji period. Also, I just realized, was Gregson, when he said makes him look self-important, is that a dig at Strongheart? Because he's got a beard. There have? For example, though it was before either of us were born, there was a rabbit tax. There was a tax on those adorable fluffy creatures? Like the ones who makes mochi sweets on the moon? Yes, and it was an extremely large tax too. The government demanded extraordinary sums of money. This just gets stranger and stranger. What was the reason for that bizarre tax then? Well, after Japan opened its doors to the world, there was an unprecedented rabbit boom in the Meiji capital. A boom? Yes, keeping rabbits became hugely popular, and new species were traded at exorbitant prices. People were even swindled out of all of their money for exotically colored rabbits. Like colored chicks, I suppose.
Hard to imagine, though. Rabbits are so timid and quiet. Wouldn't have thought one could bankrupt you.
So in response to this worrying social vogue, the government imposed a rabbit tax. I suppose they couldn't just ignore the problem. And it worked, because the rabbit boom came to an abrupt end. 6 years later, the tax was abolished. Well, I hate to say it about my own country, but Japan is strange. Oh boy, that's an understatement. But there's more. After the rabbit tax was abolished, then of course, society reenacted by launching straight into a second rabbit boom. Oh dear, the government didn't think that one through, did they?
Your ideas about the world are very much altered by the position you hold in society. If you are responsible for the running of the country, you will feel the need to raise revenue keenly.
Without a stable taxation system, the whole country would go down the drain.
Well, yes, I suppose so. But some of these taxes...
That's precisely why ministers of the state use their wills to invent new and novel ways of taxing the public.
Novel ways?
Tell me, Mr. Naruhodo, if you were one of my countrymen's statesmen...
Me? A British statesman?
Yes, what novel tax would you impose? Pray, give us something truly original. Inside 5 seconds.
What? Oh, think of something that everyone uses, Mr. Naruhodo, and really squeeze every penny out of the population. That's quite the intense stare. I'm very glad Susato-san isn't in charge.
Your time is up. So, what's your answer?
Well... air, maybe. Yes, how about air?
An air tax, you say?
Oh, listen to this music. Oh, well done, Mr. Naruhodo. A truly novel and fiendish idea. Well, everyone has to breathe. So while the population is inhaling air, my government is inhaling money.
Blimey, you're a tyrant at heart, eh?
A somewhat radical solution to a country's revenues problem, but sadly not an original one.
No, you mean to say... Surely not. You mean a tax on air has been imposed in the past?
It was last century the finance minister of our neighbor, France, proposed it.
What? If I ever go for a visit, I'm holding my breath.
Unsurprisingly, it was strongly opposed by the public and soon scrapped. The minister didn't last long either.
Oh dear. Although clearly that would have been an untenable situation. The public at large are a force to be reckoned with.
Don't I know it?
How about you, Inspector? What new tax would you impose?
Let me see. My first thought is a tax on objections.
Sorry?
Been hearing far too many of them recently in court. There's a peculiar lawyer I have in mind as it happens. So I think an objection tax could be very handy.
Good to see you don't allow your personal feuds to influence your work in public office.
I reckon 5 pence for every objection raised would be about right.
A most amusing proposal, Gregson.
A most unamusing proposal, my lord. This one was fun. I like this one. Oh, it's still going.
Well then, I think it's your turn now.
Sorry? My turn for what?
Why, what else? To locate my missing copy of the Lion's Pride.
Oh,
It's on one of the shelves in this room. Of that I am certain. Now, I shall give you 10 minutes. And let's stake your student stipend on it, Fail to find the book, and you forfeit next month's payment.
objection!
Your time starts now. Oh, and one more thing. I believe you just said the word objection. Kindly leave your 5 pence over there before you begin combing the shelves.
This tax is going to be the death of me. This is a really fun one. See, like, this was amusing. I'm actually really happy these escapades exist. These are little, like, fun little tidbits. Alright, so, that's going to be it for this episode. Wonder if I should release all of these at once, or if I should do one a day. I don't know, they seem kind of short to do one a day. But then again, you guys also have just gotten like a month's worth of 1-hour videos, so maybe one a day will be a break. Or I could release them alongside any future episodes I record for The Wild at Heart. That could be interesting. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching, and as always, stay safe, have fun, and have a great day.